which puts you on the board for the first team that we pay a little bit more attention to, which is the Toronto Blue Jays. So why don't you make the pick here, Jeremy, and then we'll dig into like some other options given kind of other scenarios and who the Blue Jays might be interested in. You're muted. Good times.
It happened to me for the first time in the radio.
Yes, I'm so glad that we're live streaming and you did that.
There was some noise over in the laundry room area, so I hit the mute. Before I give you the pick, I'm going to kind of talk you through why I make the pick.
Okay.
So it all sounds like there's two demographics that the Blue Jays are going to choose from, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to either choose a college pitcher like they did last year, or they're going to choose a prep shortstop. Having seen four prep shortstops already come off the board,
mm-hmm.
it would make more sense now to go value, right? And so I think the best player that makes the most sense at number 8 for the Blue Jays is left-handed pitcher from Tennessee, Liam Doyle, who
mm-hmm.
could go as high as 2. But to go number 8 to Toronto feels like a steal. If he goes 2 and those top 4 don't change, I think what that does is it pushes one of these prep shortstops down into the Blue Jays' lap.
Yep.
And they make them. So that's where I'm at with number 8. Doyle just seems like the best value pick there, but I think they would love to take JoJo Parker if he was available. I think Carlson would be a pretty good consolation prize.
Mm-hmm.
If Jamie Arnold was there, I think that's an easy pick. But in my opinion, Toronto sits at a really good spot at 8 because they're going to get a top level player. And if it goes in a different route, if with those first 7, they might have their choice between a really good pitcher and a really good shortstop. And then we get to kind of see what they're thinking. But for me, the way that the board went, pretty easy to make the pick of Liam Doyle.
Yeah. I do think you laid that out really nicely. Toronto's pitching development does seem to have come around a little bit recently, right? There's more success stories that they're seeing. Trey Savage is a great example who was taken last year. He's already kind of soaring and dominating in Double-A. He's been really, really strong. I do think Doyle makes a ton of sense for them, and you nailed it, I think, with who they've been interested in. I do want to call out because we do some work for a Blue Jays adjacent site who potentially makes sense. And like, I think you covered most of it, Jeremy, but in terms of college pitchers, I think anyone who's available, they would consider Doyle, Jamie Arnold, and then maybe to a slightly lesser extent, Kyson Witherspoon would be someone they would consider around this range, the top college righty in the class. And then on the prep side, as you mentioned there, JoJo Parker, I think Billy Carlson, if available, absolutely. And then potentially Steele Hall and Kason Cunningham would be kind of just a half step down in their estimation. So I think that's the cluster of players that the Blue Jays would be looking at within those two demographics. And as you mentioned, they're in an interesting spot, right? In that if we see a couple, even one major surprise in the first 7 picks ahead of them, they could end up with a player who they like a ton, who was way higher on their board that they anticipated not having. So I do like the spot that the Blue Jays are in. I would just add, from a kind of capital perspective in terms of money and picks, they don't have a ton of either. So they really need to, they're like the Cubs in that they need to ensure that they hit with their higher draft picks to keep that farm system ticking along, because they're a revenue payee. They don't have the bonus of comp round A or comp round B rotating picks like other teams that we talk through a lot.